The journey begins with the most familiar place in the entire universe, Earth. It is a home of humans, oceans, mountains, forests, and every story ever lived. But in the grand design of the universe, Earth is not as big as people think. In fact, compared to what exists out there, Earth is almost invisible. The narrator explains that Earth looks huge to anyone standing on it. When a person travels from one country to another, the distance feels massive. When someone flies across the ocean, the world feels endless. But space has a different scale, one that human minds struggle to understand. From space, Earth looks like a small blue marble surrounded by darkness. It has a diameter of almost 12,700 kilometers. It feels large, but it is tiny when compared with bigger worlds in our solar system. To show this, the camera zooms out gently. First, the moon appears beside Earth, the moon that has guided tides, inspired poetry, and carried human footprints. It looks close, but the average distance between Earth and the moon is 384,000 kilometers. Even at the speed of light, a beam takes more than a second to travel from Earth to the moon. Then the sun comes into view, and everything changes. Earth becomes small, very small. The sun, a giant ball of fire, is more than 100 times wider than Earth. Inside the sun, you could fit 1 million Earths and still have space left. This is humanity's first lesson about the universe. Size is not what it seems. The narrator speaks softly. Earth is perfect for life, but in the scale of the universe, it is just a tiny drop. The zoom out continues. All the planets of the solar system appear: Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Earth is just one of many. Jupiter, the largest, dwarfs our home completely. One Jupiter could hold 1,300 Earths inside it. Yet, even Jupiter is nothing compared to the Sun. The scene shifts again. The solar system shrinks into a thin line of dots. Light takes 8 minutes to travel from the Sun to Earth, but it takes 5 hours to reach Pluto. Slowly, Earth disappears from view. The solar system becomes a small speck inside a massive star field. Finally, the narrator says, "For us, Earth is everything. But for the universe, Earth is only the beginning." Part 1 ends with a gentle sound of space, silent, empty, endless, inviting viewers to explore further. As the camera continues drifting away from Earth, a new world begins to appear, the vast and beautiful solar system, ruled by one master, the Sun. Every planet, every comet, every piece of dust moves under its powerful gravity. The narrator explains gently, Hum suraj ko razdektain, mega iskieso hakikat hum samaj nahi pate. To show this truth, the scene zooms out where the sun stands at the center like a giant golden heart. It burns with unimaginable heat, its surface reaching nearly 5,500 degrees Celsius, while the core reaches millions of degrees. The planets appear in graceful orbits around it. Mercury, a small, burnt world moving fastest. Venus, Earth's poisonous twin. Earth, a tiny blue planet full of life. Mars, the dusty red desert. Jupiter, the giant made of storms. Saturn, with rings like cosmic jewelry. Uranus, rolling sideways in cold darkness. Neptune, a windy blue world at the edge. But when the sun is placed beside them, everything changes. The sun looks like a giant king. The planets appear like small servants orbiting quietly around it. Earth looks like a grain of rice beside a football. Jupiter looks big, but even Jupiter is nothing near the sun's size. The narrator explains a shocking fact. Agaham puri zamin koi glass ki goli samjain, to suraj school ke football banjatahai. The camera then reveals distances, something even harder to understand. The space between planets is not small. It is gigantic. Earth to Mars takes 7 months for a spacecraft. Jupiter to Saturn, a journey of years. From the Sun to Neptune, light takes 4 hours to travel. Yet this entire huge space, the whole solar system, is still tiny compared to the Milky Way galaxy. A small animation shows the solar system shrinking until it becomes a tiny dot. It blends into billions of other tiny dots inside a huge spiral shape. But before reaching the galaxy, the documentary highlights a surprising fact. Between Mars and Jupiter lies the asteroid belt, filled with millions of rocks. Beyond Neptune lies the Kuiper Belt, home to Pluto and frozen worlds. Even further lies the Oort cloud, a giant sphere of icy bodies surrounding the solar system like a shell, spanning 2 light years from end to end. The narrator says, Humara solar system bada lagtahai, lekin asulmine, yet galaxy kayak bohat chotahisa. The scene ends with a silent, humbling view. The entire solar system, glowing like a tiny firefly in the infinite dark. The journey moves farther, leaving the solar system behind like a tiny island shining in the darkness. For millions of years, humans thought the sun was the biggest thing in the sky. But the universe is a different story, one that is much bigger, stranger, and more humbling. The narrator speaks softly. Hum suraj ko barasamitehain. Mega universe ku nazdik. Surajik choti sai shirabhi nahi. The scene shifts to a massive comparison. First, the sun appears at the center of the frame. It looks huge, bright, fiery, powerful. Then another star enters. Sirius A, the brightest star in Earth's night sky. Sirius A is nearly twice as big as the sun. Suddenly, the sun looks smaller. But the universe is only warming up. Next appears Pollux, an orange giant. It is almost 10 times bigger than the sun. The sun becomes a glowing marble beside it. Then comes Arcturus, a star so large and orange gold that it fills half the screen. Arcturus is 25 times bigger than our sun. The narrator explains calmly, Ye wo sitre hain jo hamari ankin ko kabi chote nazar tai. Mega unka asul rang, unka asul kad, hamari soksa bohat zayadahai. But the universe is giants even greater. The camera zooms out further. A red monster appears, Betelgeuse. It is so large that the sun would look like a tiny coin beside it. More than 700 suns could fit inside Betelgeuse. Yet even Betelgeuse is not the biggest. A dim but gigantic star comes next, Uy Scuti, one of the largest known stars in the universe. Its sheer size is unbelievable. If the sun were a small seed, Uy Scuti would be a massive mountain. If Uy Scuti were placed in the center of our solar system, it would swallow Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, and even Jupiter. The narrator pauses, letting the shock settle. Insan and Ijab universe ko malum kia, tab peta chala ku hamari izat, hamara wujud, hamari zamin, sab kuch bohat chotahai. The stars fade slowly as the camera pulls back. Dozens of giant stars shrink into shining dots. A cluster of stars gathers. The sun becomes invisible, impossible to find in the crowd. Finally, the narrator says, Ega sitrate ne beri hain, tofer unkaga, galaxy, kitni beri hogi? Yes, awul humine glay his sanki terif lajatahai. The scene fades out, preparing the viewer for a journey into the vast, swirling Milky Way galaxy. The camera now pulls back so far that even the biggest stars, Betelgeuse, Rigel, Uy Scuti, begin to fade like tiny sparks. A new shape starts to appear, faint at first, then brighter, a giant swirl of light floating in endless darkness. This is the Milky Way galaxy, the home of our sun, our planets, and billions upon billions of stars. The narrator speaks softly. Jahan hum rete hain, Jahan hum marasura chamaktahai, wosab is like galaxy ka chota sahisahai. From a distance, the Milky Way looks like a beautiful silver cloud. But as the camera moves closer, the truth becomes clear. It is 100,000 light years wide. If a spaceship traveled at the speed of light, the fastest speed possible in the universe, it would still take 100,000 years to cross the galaxy. The narrator explains, Ega zamin ke upa insinek tara sedushri terifje, towai continent cross katahai. Lekin Milky Way ko cross kana, insani zindajin nahi, insanitari pi kafi nahi. The camera dives into one of the Milky Way's glowing spiral arms, the Orion Arm. This is where our sun lives, quietly orbiting the galaxy's center like a child walking through a vast city. Then the camera slows and shows a tiny yellow dot. The sun. Around it, Earth is too small to even see. The narrator continues. Hum apni zindaji ke ha lamha is like choti sai jagapagu zathain. Yehi hamara ga, hamara aesman, hamarikahani. Mega Milky Way K 200 billion sitaramine, zaminite katrahai. The documentary now reveals something even more surprising. Our sun is not special. It is not rare. It is one of the 200 to 400 billion stars in the Milky Way. Some are bigger, some smaller. Some have planets, some are alone, some are dying, and new ones are being born inside glowing clouds called nebulae. A bright cloud appears, the Eagle Nebula, where massive baby stars shine inside pillars of gas. Another cloud appears, the Orion Nebula, a cosmic nursery glowing with purple and blue light. The camera now turns toward the galaxy's center. A brilliant golden glow fills the screen, millions of stars packed tightly together like diamonds scattered in a bowl. But hidden deep inside this glow is something mysterious. A supermassive black hole, 4 million times more massive than the Sun. The narrator says, Ha galaxy kubich me'ait kala sarakotahai. Wo dikai nahi dita, mega pori galaxy uski gerd gumti hai. The Milky Way rotates like a giant cosmic wheel, and humanity rides on one tiny spark within it. The part ends with a quiet question. Ega galaxy at niberi hai. Tofa universe kit nibera hoga. As the Milky Way slowly fades into the distance, another breathtaking sight begins to appear. Tiny glowing dots scattered across the dark screen. At first they look like stars, but the narrator explains softly. Yeah, sitere nahi, yeah galaxies hain. Each dot is not one star. Each dot is a full galaxy, containing billions or even trillions of stars. The camera zooms out further. A cluster of galaxies forms, like a family of cosmic islands floating together in the black ocean of space. The Andromeda Galaxy comes into view first, a shining spiral bigger than the Milky Way, moving slowly toward us. One day, billions of years from now, both galaxies will merge into one giant system. Then appears a triangulum galaxy, glowing like a cosmic whirlpool. Each one is massive beyond imagination. But the universe continues to expand. More galaxies appear, hundreds of them, then thousands, then millions. They form huge groups called galaxy clusters. The narrator explains, Ha cluster me Hazaron galaxies Hotihain, or Ha galaxy me Crorian or Araban Citere. The Virgo cluster flashes onto the screen, a massive region containing more than 2,000 galaxies. Then the camera pulls back again to reveal the Leniaceus supercluster, the giant cosmic continent where the Milky Way belongs. This supercluster is so big that light would take 500 million years to travel across it. The narrator says, In san apnes indaja me axa shese bajo nahi nikolpeta. Mega hameri galaxiac supercluster kaic chotasacconahai. But the universe does not stop here. The zoom continues. Galaxies stretch across space like a giant shining fog. But between them are huge empty regions, cosmic voids, so massive they could hold thousands of galaxies, yet contain almost nothing. Lights and darkness spread across the screen in beautiful patterns. The narrator adds, Ha light-eyed galaxy, or Ha darkness-eyed Kali space. Then something stunning appears, the Hubble Deep Field image. What begins as a tiny dark patch suddenly turns into a glowing field of galaxies. That small patch of sky, which looked empty, actually holds nearly 10,000 galaxies. The narrator pauses. Agai universe kaiak chota sahisit nabera hosaktahai. Tofur puora universe kit nabinti ahoga. A cosmic map slowly forms, showing hundreds of billions of galaxies scattered like seeds across a cosmic garden. Earth becomes invisible. The solar system does not exist at this scale. Even the Milky Way disappears entirely. Only galaxies remain, countless, endless, each containing its own suns, planets, moons, and stories waiting to be discovered. The part ends with, Hum surfite galaxy K Rene Wale Hain. Or universe may Azi Hazaron Arab galaxies Morjid Hain. The camera now zooms out so far that individual galaxies begin to blur. The Milky Way fades. The Andromeda Galaxy disappears. Even entire galaxy clusters shrink into tiny sparkling dots. Then something unbelievable begins to appear. A faint pattern, a structure, a network of light stretching across the darkness like veins in a giant organism. The narrator's voice deepens. Geez, she's ko hum universe ketehain. Wo bitera hua dark space nahi. Wo ikes abades nakshahai. A giant cosmic design. This design is called the cosmic web. At this scale, galaxies do not float randomly. They gather along long glowing threads made of dark matter and gas, forming a web that spreads across the entire universe. Every thread contains millions of galaxies. Every connection point, called a node, holds massive galaxy clusters, each one bigger than anything humanity can imagine. The narrator explains, Sochoik makri ka jela. Mega ye jela nabera kuroshni ko yan se guzan me araban sail lagjayan. The camera moves through the web. Bright filaments stretch outward like highways. Galaxies flow through them like cosmic traffic. Between the glowing threads lie enormous empty regions, the cosmic voids, places so vast and dark that a human mind can't truly understand their emptiness. The narrator adds, Ha filamenite cosmic sharon ke rastahai, or ha voidike sunsan registan. Scientists believe that dark matter forms the backbone of this web. It does not shine. It does not glow. But its gravity shapes everything. It pulls galaxies together. It stretches space. It creates the universe's grand architecture. The narrator says, Hum sur 4% universe ko dek saktehain. Baki 96% and here may chupahuahai. Dark matter or dark energy. Then comes the most shocking truth. The universe is not still. It is expanding, and not slowly. It is expanding faster and faster because of dark energy, a mysterious force pushing galaxies away from each other. The cosmic web stretches like elastic fabric. Filaments grow longer. Voids grow emptier. One day, distant galaxies will move so far away that their light will never reach Earth. The universe is getting bigger every second. The narrator concludes, Hum samajte hain ku universe ike jagakorahai. Mega asulmine, universe haim chichau rahahai. Bada J. Rahahai. Okub Suti Kiaik Nai Sarat Banata J. Rahahai. The camera shows the cosmic web glowing like a living nervous system, a map of all existence. And Earth? It is smaller than a dust particle inside this endless design. The camera now zooms out to the farthest limit that science can reach. Galaxies fade into tiny sparks. The cosmic web shrinks into a delicate pattern of glowing threads. At this distance, even superclusters look smaller than grains of sand. The narrator speaks gently. Hum bohat doe chikri hain. Itna dor kuebi universe ke akrikanara nazain lagtahai. But here lies the greatest surprise of all. We cannot see the whole universe. We can only see the part where light has reached us. This is called the observable universe. It stretches 46 billion light years in every direction from Earth. Not because the universe is 46 billion years old, but because space itself is expanding faster than light can travel. The narrator explains, Hum G's she's ko universe ke kinara kete hain. Wo asulme hameri aunt ke kinara hai. The camera shows a massive glowing sphere, the boundary of all human vision. Outside this sphere lies a region we can never see, never reach, never fully imagine. Scientists believe the entire universe could be thousands of times bigger, or infinite, or even part of a multiverse. But human eyes can only witness one bubble of space, our observable region. Inside this bubble lies everything we know. 2 trillion galaxies, 700 sextillion stars, countless planets, endless mysteries. But the greatest shock is still to come. The narrator says slowly, Jo Hisahum Dek Saktehain, Wo Sur 4% Hotahai. 96% universe Hameri Nazrin Samu Camel Torpa Gayab Hai. This invisible portion is made of dark matter, an unknown substance that holds galaxies together. Dark energy, a mysterious force that pushes the universe apart faster and faster. The documentary now reveals the ultimate truth. One day, billions of years from now, distant galaxies will move so far away that their light will never reach Earth. The universe will become darker. The stars will fade. Only local galaxies will remain visible. But the narrator brings hope. In San Kota Zarahai, Mega Uskisok, Usker Ilm, or Usker Jasba, Wo Universe Jitnahai Baintahai. The camera returns to a single point of light. That light grows into a galaxy, then a solar system, then the sun, then Earth, a small blue world. The narrator ends with a powerful line. Hum universe me chotehain. Mega universe hamre and bohat barahai. The screen fades to black. The journey ends, but the wonder continues.